It's not one thing, it's another. You got the Watchmen way. April Fools. April 1st, 2020. I just had an interesting discussion I'll talk about later. New report on the ships, the hospital ships. I'm not sure it's really connected, but the report did come out that the tents in Central Park, supposedly, somebody knew a nurse that was there working in those tents, and what they appear to be is kids that they've rescued from deep underground bases. My question is, and I have no doubt that that's true. We know that it's been a constant for the last probably year, for sure since the 4th of July. We know what was going on. I think it was going on before that, where they were raiding these underground bases and freeing the kids. Well, not freeing them, but you have to remember these kids have been raised in cages. When this story comes out, anyone that would admit voting Democrat will be afraid to tell a soul when people find out what mostly the liberal Democratic Party has been responsible for. And not to say that there aren't a lot of Republicans, because there are. But this was driven by the liberals and the liberal agenda, globalism. Think about it. Some of these kids been living in cages for years. Some of them are deformed from living in cages. This is our CIA has been involved in this stuff. The CIA running breeding farms in America where they're breeding children to sell the cute ones into child sex trafficking, and the homely ones they sell for their body parts, organ harvesting. These are all facts. It's all coming out. Thank God this is almost over. I don't see this going to the end of the month. At least this part of it. That this is the big push to finally save these kids. Now, they're not stopping. And they're going to have it done before Easter. I truly believe it. I think President Trump wants to announce this before Easter. That Friday or Saturday, Good Friday or the Saturday before Easter, the 10th or 11th. And there's been a lot of reports that say they're going to have it wrapped up by Good Friday. So it just falls right into place with everything that we've suspected, everything that we anticipated, and everything that the president's been saying. Because remember, we talked about this a couple of days ago. It doesn't make sense for him when we've got the virus supposedly running wild around the world and potential threats, what we know about from the sleeper cells, which why they're taking down all these gang members, that he would call for full churches on Easter. And he's been pushing that Easter, right? He extends the deadline till the end of the month, but he's talking about having full churches in Easter. Something doesn't add up, guys. So the puzzle pieces don't fit. But it fits right in with what we've been thinking was going to happen. So it's good news. So I I was in a little discussion with a Christian before, well, this afternoon, and I've been thinking about this a long time, and I've said this over and over again. If you guys learn one thing here, I hope it's that you question everything. You use your critical thinking skills, especially right now. There's never been a time in history that has been more critical. And you use your discernment. That's what God wants. Because what happens when you start following something blindly is you're going to end up following a false prophet. Somebody's going down the wrong path. And I think I've been trying to think about how I want to do this. And because we need to have a lot of hard discussions about church today, about the Bible today, how the Bible's used. And I think it's got to start with a history lesson. And instead of me teaching you, I think this is a good exercise for people, for the newbies, especially, but for everyone, to you find out the history of the Bible. You find out, because it's readily available. Just go to the internet, start searching. Where was the Bible first written or assembled? I think is a better way to put it, because it was written over, well, hundreds of years at least. I think that's step one. And then I want to know when the rapture was first taught. So this is a little exercise over the next week or so. I want you guys to take some time and do this, because there's a method to my madness, and doing it this way, I think, is going to make it easier for people to absorb, because I don't think I've ever, and I'm talking about hundreds of Christians I've dealt with in the last 5 years, maybe thousands, and I haven't had one of them that could answer either one of those questions. Not one could answer either one of those questions for me. So I think it's something we all need to know. Now, how can you believe something blindly you know nothing about? I mean, you have to have some knowledge here to be able to think about what it means to be a Christian or a Catholic or a follower of the way. I think it's also going to help us kind of establish the way as the reason that God wants it revived, because it's sorely needed right now. Because we have a lot of people who don't know the Bible running around using the Bible as a weapon to beat a lot of times other Christians with, and non-believers, and they don't know a damn thing about it. So we're going to educate ourselves and have discussions about this, because it's important, because it's going to play an important role in the way and where we go. Now, Jesus, they didn't have a Bible. Bible wasn't written, well, hundreds of years after Jesus was murdered on the cross. That's when the Bible was written. And think about it. If you live your life the way, the Bible is a book of comfort. It's a reference book. And I won't go any deeper than that, or I'll get into the whole damn discussion. So, anyway, that's what I like you guys to do. And then we'll, probably not going to be till after Easter because we have a lot going on right now. But I want you guys to be thinking about that. It's a good, perfect time to be thinking about it. We've got a lot of time here. Think about that whole thing. We'll be talking about it. So that there's been mixed these hospital ships / prison ships. These ships could be for the kids too. My thinking is that they're putting the criminals on the ships and they're taking the kids to Central Park. I think Central Park, with the way they have it set up, is going to hold more people than the ships were, or that ship on the East Coast. I guess there's one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. Anyway, really, it doesn't matter to me who's there. We know the kids are being rescued. We know the swamp's going down. That's all we really need to know. We'll know the details later. The Zero Head Jad. No joking. 6 out of 10 students think offensive jokes are hate speech. That's how brainwashed these kids are. We're going to have to retrain a whole generation because of how they've been totally their brains have been hijacked. I don't know how else to explain it. It's the things they believe. As a kid, back in the 60s, we'd have been all over this stuff because they taught us the Constitution and civics, about our government, how it works. Kids don't have a clue what the Constitution is, what it means. There are very few things that you can say. I mean, very few things that you can't say. I mean, it's a free speech means free speech. And that they think that because the media or who knows tells them it's offensive. I can think of as a 10 or 11-year-old, I'd have run all over them. Not with the Constitution. Crazy. And that's how they steal our liberty away. Is they just don't teach it to us. And if we're not, and it's partly our faults too, guys, because we let it happen. And that's why the Watchmen are going to continue on forever. Because we're going to make sure this never happens again. That they never gain the foothold that they did this time. Because we came too close. We were so close. You don't know. Chillingly close. I mean, like the last 6 months of Obama's administration, I had my shotgun under my bed, ready to get the front door kicked in, because I knew that's where this was headed at some point if the liberals stayed in control. Thank God that he brought us President Trump and protected him and guided him, because when the world sees what he faced, what he had to overcome, the odds that were stacked against him. I mean, these people had 50 years. Since the Second World War, they've been working on this. Like I said, when he took office, there were more globalists in our government than there were patriots. And so to be here less than 4 years later, on the verge of man's greatest accomplishment in defeating and eradicating this evil? Greatest president in history. Greatest president in history, bar none, will go down with saving our constitutional republic and the world. That's a fact. And when the world sees what he's defeated, when they see what's been happening to our kids, the world is going to rally around President Trump. And then the tsunami hits the Democratic Party, the mainstream media, the Fed, the CIA, the IRS, all gone by the end of President Trump's second term. All of your worries about constitutional violations and censorship, Second Amendment, all gone. All you people that have been running around like crazy saying that this virus is a way for the globalists and the UN to take over the world are going to be exposed as ignorant. Because anybody in America that thinks that, you're ignorant. If you think that President Trump was going to come in and let the globalists and the UN take over, he wouldn't let them take over the world, let alone America. Ignorance isn't bliss. It's not bliss when you're talking about religion. It's not bliss when you're talking about what's going on in the world. And it's not that hard. Do your homework. Get on the internet. Get on YouTube. Start searching. It's all there. I found it. And I was doing this more than 5 years ago when a lot of this information wasn't out. It was hard to find people like me speaking out because you got crushed pretty quick. If you didn't have a thick skin, you didn't last very long. Okay. Back to our Constitution. We're going back to our Constitution. We're going to start teaching our Constitution in school. If you guys are homeschooling your kids, you better have civics as part of what you're doing, or you're doing a huge disservice to your kids. Okay. Yeah. And listen, everything God showed me 5 years ago plus is happening. And if you don't see it's happening, call me and I'll point it out because it's all over. I could write 3 pages of notes with everything going on around the world, with the world falling apart, and people still want to sit in their closets and claim nothing's going on. So they see the world coming down around them, and they just can't put it together because their brains won't allow it. Scary stuff. I mean, scary that they can't get through this. What's coming isn't scary. The virus is the flu. Nothing to worry about there. Nobody's coming for your guns. We're eradicating the evil, the satanic pedophiles, the child traffickers, the drug traffickers. We're cleaning up our financial system. Greatest transfer of wealth in human history. 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Man's greatest age. What isn't there to like? It's all good. Shocking 6.5 tremor in Idaho continues alarming trend in the western United States. Gee, I wonder what's going on there. What were we just talking about? They're raiding these bases. And they're using tactical, I think maybe in some cases, tactical nukes. If you're causing a 6.5 earthquake, that's probably a mini nuke or a tactical nuke or whatever they want to call them. The World Health Organization helped China cover up the virus. What a surprise there. World Health Organization works for the globalist. I think the globalists were working with the Chinese to release the real COVID-19, which is supposedly more deadly than what was released. And I think the Chinese backstabbed the deep state. Yeah, because they didn't release what they thought was going to be released. And that's why you saw everybody pushing at the beginning to collapse the economy until they figured out that's what President Trump wanted. And now they're backtracking and saying, oh, everything's going to be okay. Too late. This party's over. This economy's going down. There's nothing you can do to save it. Plus, there's 1,000 other things. Stock market down 973 points today, and the futures are down again. Anybody know? Well, never mind. Doesn't make any difference. Ford is delaying North American production indefinitely. You know, they were talking about reopening the Mexico and plants up here. Not happening. Probably not for a long time. The U.S. manufacturing slumps to biggest contraction since '08, since the last financial collapse. But everything's okay. Buy the dip. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Apocalyptic April. This one they blame POTUS. They blame it on POTUS. POTUS fails to end the oil war. You know, everybody knows, Saudi Arabia just dumped a bunch more oil on the market, which is driving the prices down, which is good for us. But the oil industry's dead, guys. It's dead. And listen, with 0 point energy, President Trump's not worried about it because it was dead anyway. What happens when there's 0 point energy? You're done. The oil companies are finished. There's no need for oil if you have 0 point energy. I mean, you'll have some people that want to hang on to their old, combustion engines and, hold them forever. And yeah, okay, so there'll be a market for gas probably, but it's not going to be a fraction of what it is now because everything's going to be electric. Because it's going to be zero cost. Okay. Oh, the good thing about what's going on with the flu, people are prepping. This hasn't died off, which I'm thrilled to see. So listen, we're going to get through this with flying colors, guys. We're not going to have to worry. They're going to keep the supply chains open. They're starting to break down, and we knew that would happen. But people are getting pretty stocked up. Overall, it's all good. U.S. can't afford to let shale fail. Shale oil, it's failed. It's too late. It costs too much to get it out of the ground. And they were already on the ropes. They're done. You can't, and if it was 0 point energy, you can't, it doesn't pencil. All those fields are going to shut down. You can't afford to take it out of the ground. You're going to get half what it costs you to get out of the ground. Or less. And the problem is they've been taking a loss for a long time. I think the past year. Hoping on the come, and it's over. Yeah, Saudis unleash an oil tsunami on the world. Russia sends very, very large plane load of mask and medical equipment to the U.S. Putin called POTUS and asked him if he wanted help, and POTUS said yes. I thought Russia was supposed to be our enemy. Why are they sending us medical supplies? I'm telling you, China, Russia, and President Trump are all working together on this whole deal. On the takedown, on the reset, the economy. Russia stops buying Russian gold. So basically, Russia was buying up all the gold they were producing, and they suddenly stopped. My gut feeling is he wants to get some out on the street. He wants to make it available for the citizens there to buy with the time they have left. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Otherwise, there's no reason to stop. You keep going. When you know it's coming, you'd keep going. I mean, China's not going to stop. China's been doing this for 10 years. China saw this coming a long time ago. If they didn't have such a huge population, they would have probably been the best prepared for this. And the other thing they did is they pissed a lot of money away on infrastructure they'll never use, just to keep the wheels turning. Futures tumble as bear market rally ends. Expect new lows. Oh, we're expecting them. Supplies are starting to get tight. Nationwide food distribution system breaks down. Starting to break down. Okay. What do we got for questions here? Where am I at? Okay, good. Gary, what's up? Lisa's gun is always by the front door. Tanya, how you doing? Tessie, Randy, how you doing? Joanne, what's up? Lisa, Deborah, Dawn, what's up? Danielle, my niece, what's up, Danielle? David, how's it going, buddy? Don't be so sure, Gary. Barbara, how you doing? Benny, Amy. Yeah, we're not looking at end times here, guys. Don't worry about that. We're not looking at end times. Everything that's in our future, anybody who's watching this, nothing to fear as long as you're alive. I don't see anything coming in any time in the next 30, 50 years that's going to be anything like the end times. Jordan wants to know if, yeah, they're all going down. Tom Hanks, Ellen, Oprah, for sure. They're all pedophiles. They got video on all these guys. I don't know. There's been several reports about, I think, all of them being arrested. I don't care, personally. I know they're going to be arrested. When they get arrested, I could care less. I want Obama and Clinton. I want the big dogs. These are peons, actors or entertainers. Who gives a rat's ass? Let him hang. JC, what's up? JC got kicked off Facebook for speaking out. They wouldn't let him back on. Amy, what's up? Olivia. There's the water truck. Going to water the arena. Got her open tonight. Lisa, how you doing? Yep. Praise God. And President Trump and the SEALs and the Marines and everybody else, because they were risking their lives, guys. It wasn't like they were just knocking on doors. They were kicking in doors and blowing through doors. And you can bet there were casualties on our side. So God bless those guys too. Kathleen, how you doing? Yeah, again, no confirmation on Hanks or Rita Wilson. Again, they're going down. I think they're going to be executed. They murdered children. They're going to be executed. We'll know about it sometime in the future. Maybe not too distant future. Joy, how you doing? Well, Gary, did you look? It takes 2 seconds. Just go to your... Never mind. Jeremy saying Hanks and the wife returned to L.A. There's also, if you go into... Oh, there's a website. You can look up arrest. Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks were arrested, according to the website that tracks arrest in Southern California, I think is the one they went on. Whatever. Again, it doesn't make any difference, guys. They're insignificant to what's going on. Until it's confirmed, I could care less. Yeah, Osama's Fool Day. Listen, listen. What's coming? Amy's saying dumping oil is bad for those who work in the oil fields. The world's changing, guys. Oil's dead. There's no need for oil when you have 0-point energy, and you can't pay less for it than it costs you to get out of the ground, and that's what's happening now. Things are going to change. We're going to have new technology coming out. We're going to have new industry coming out. Those people who are working in the oil fields, they'll find something else to do. We don't keep an industry alive. We move forward. We keep moving forward. This is what this world's about, guys. It's about change. The people that understand that have no trouble with what's coming. I'm ready for constant change. I could care less. Don't get wrapped up in the things that aren't that important. It doesn't make it. How about those guys working in the oil field within 2 years making 3 times the money, working 10 hours less a week? How about that world? Because that's where we're headed. Those guys working in the oil fields are going to find better jobs. That's what happens when you eliminate this evil and all the trillions of dollars they've been stealing from us. My dad made $8,000 a year in like 1961. Our house payment was $75 a month. Taxes and insurance. $75 a month for a house in the Napa Valley in St. Helena. You know, when you looked at, you think, oh man, he had to live on $8,000 a year. There are people making $100,000 in the Bay Area that didn't live as good as we did in 1961 on $8,000 a year because of inflation, because of what they've been doing to our money, what they've been doing to our financial system, running it into the ground on purpose, stealing us blind and stealing our wealth all the way till they were going to have us under their thumb with the corporations running the world when we got to the end. And they would get to murder 7 billion people And by that time, there would have been nobody to stand up. That would have been our world, except for what just happened in 2016 with that election. Changed the course of world history. Changed the course of God's wrath. Because if it would have went the other way, we were going to see Armageddon in the physical. And it was going to be ugly. Hundreds of millions were going to die. And we averted that by electing President Trump. I get tired of Christians who don't know shit about the Bible, who don't know who God is, telling me I'm wrong when I'm getting it from God. Watch what happens in the next 6 months, because everything God showed me is happening. Then you doubt what God has to say. Yeah, we're going to have flying cars, though, and electric cars. They're not going to be anything like what we're seeing today. Darren, what's up? Oh, the military's already been activated. Darren's saying that Trump announced he's deploying the military to go after the cartels. Yeah, that's part. You know why he's going after the cartels? Because the cartels were going to be the sleeper cells that were going to do the attacks. MS-13, whoever else they had working for them, radical Muslim groups, they were all going to be in the mix. That's who they're arresting right now. And everybody's been alerted to be prepared to go full duty. I think all of the military, all services. Now taking 5. It was just 2 days ago. It was a 2-day wait on Gemini. It's up to a 5-day wait now on your coins, guys. So don't wait. Physical silver and Litecoin. I'm telling you, there's going to be a time when they flip a switch, when everybody realizes, just like what happened with the toilet paper, when everybody realizes this financial system's done, there's going to be a rush to physical silver, precious metals, and cryptocurrencies, and you won't be able to buy it after the hour. 1 hour I give it, and the exchanges will shut down. And who knows what the price is going to be when they reopen, because it's not going to be what it was when they closed. They're going to start much higher. So get it now while it's cheap. These are gifts from God. Don't ignore these gifts. You always get silver over gold. You only get gold if you can't get silver. Silver's going to outperform gold at least 10 times. If you want to throw money away, go ahead, buy gold. But you're losing money on investments if you choose gold over silver. Same thing with Bitcoin and Litecoin, guys. Litecoin, Litecoin, Litecoin. No Ethereum, no Bitcoin. Joanne, yep, you're right. You're on board, Joanne. Danielle, what's up? Facebook keeps kicking David off. It's because he's sharing all the live chats every night. Keep it going, David. Don't weaken. Jordan wants to know how I think the news will be announced. I imagine that President Trump's going to hold a press conference. I mean, this is if he announces everything. I mean, there's a lot to announce here, guys. Just think about it. And that JFK Jr. might be somewhere in that mix. So it's going to be a crazy month. April is going to be a crazy month. Good crazy, though. David shared with 10 sites. Good job, David. A lot of homework, Tessie. A lot of homework for the newbies if you want to be up to speed. Yep, Amy, we were just talking about that. The child sex trafficking children being taken to Central Park. Yep, it's true. I've had it confirmed by two different people. So I would say it's confirmed. Darren bought 30 Litecoin today. Good job, Darren. Thanks, Brian. You missed. Oh, not much. 223 ounces of silver. Good job, Darren. Mike Janman, here's your guy for colloidal silver, guys. Get it from Mike. A fraction of what it costs at GNC. Terry, how you doing? I'm going to wait for the water truck to go by. No, we don't have to worry. Robbie wants to know if we have to worry about 5G. President Trump will not allow any harmful technology to be used in America. Not going to happen. Don't worry about it. In fact, he just signs an executive order, I think, last week, where he's taken control of that technology. So it's got to get through him before it gets approved. In other words, he's got to approve all the technology now. So you think he's going to let, and he knows what's going on with it. Not going to happen in America. And they're going to shut it down around the world, too, when this is all over. Deborah wants to know about the bodies in New York. Well, I heard they've been shipping them out in refrigeration cars or trucks. Where to? I don't know. But I'm listen, don't worry about the bodies, guys, being contagious. This is the flu. Look at the mortality rate. Do not be worried about this virus. It's a cover. This was all part of the plan. The virus is a way to get the people off the streets so they can go down and take down MS-13, the drug cartels, the sleeper cells, so that they're not going into stores and malls and churches and shooting the places up. It was their last gasp. We talked about this 6 months ago. Somebody was listening. Obama's and Clinton's and the Bushes are going down. Soros is going down. Listen, anybody you can name is going down. Don Lemon, Jake Tapper, Chris Como, all going down. They all went to Pedo Island. They got video. Guess what happens when they got video? You're in big trouble. You're probably not ever getting out of Gitmo, one way or another. That looks like all the questions. Okay, guys. We keep saying it. It's a 2-minute warning. This is it. Days or weeks. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm going to be surprised if we don't get some big announcements before Easter. Not that, listen, and I've been disappointed before, and here's the thing. Being a Watchman, guys, I've got to warn about any potential danger I see in the future. That's my job. I can't be late. I can't miss something. And everything is pointing to something big going down before Easter. And when you line everything up and you look at what all the possibilities are, it looks like this is finally happening. They're taking down the swamp. They're getting these kids out of wherever they're being held. And they're taking down the financial system, which was coming down anyway and needed to be cleaned out. We got to start fresh. Reset's coming. Yeah, the gas companies, the utility companies, they've all been stealing us blind. We got to be positive when we're reaching out. Remember, what's our first question? How would you like to be a part of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history? That's your opening line. And then talk about the economy and what's going on in Litecoin and silver. Don't forget your Litecoin and silver, guys. Get it now. Like I said, any day now, it could happen any day that the rush goes on and everything shuts down in the crypto and the precious metal markets. Now you can still get it. Get it while you can. Yeah, Kathleen's dad, $60 a week. $60 a week. They had a nice house, had a good life. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, you know, and something else is going on here too, guys. There's something really spiritual going on in the world. This isn't just a takedown of this evil, which is huge in itself, and the worldwide economy, which is huge in itself. Listen, any one of these things by themselves would probably be the biggest event in history. We've got the triple whammy. I mean, this is like the perfect storm of events. I mean, name another event bigger than these three. They're huge. World-changing events. All happening within the same month. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in some movies that have been recent. Yeah. Yeah, those reports I do not believe, Lisa, about 5G and people getting radiation poisoning. It might be something else. It's not 5G. I don't believe 5G is rolled out yet in America. Yeah, they're going to be really safe flying cars, guys. Like, you see now the cars that are driving themselves? That's what these flying cars are going to be. No kidding. You're going to punch in an address and push a button and take a nap. And they'll fly you to wherever you want to go. That's what's happening. I'm not kidding. The technology that's coming. I mean, we're going to have machines that can not just make you look 30 years younger, but make you 30 years younger. Appearance and the function of your body. This is all coming. It's amazing, guys. Yeah, wear your earplugs if you're going to shoot, guys. And everybody, this is another thing. I'm glad that you brought that up. Now is a good time for everybody to take a day and go to a range and do a little target practice. Do some shooting. Get reacquainted with your firearms. You don't want to be in a situation where you haven't been out for a year and somebody's kicking in your front door. Now, I don't think hardly any of us maybe are going to have to fire a round. But you need to be prepared to fire a round. And to be prepared, you need to go out and shoot a little bit if you haven't shot in a while. Get your money out of the bank. Listen, all paper assets are going to zero. Stocks, bonds, money market accounts, 401ks, pension funds, your bank account. I just had somebody take $20,000 out yesterday. Put it into silver and Litecoin. It's up to you. I don't want the banks to have any more of my money. I've got $50 in there. Do what you want. But the smart people are taking their money out of the bank. They're taking it out of their pension funds. Anything they can take it out of. I just had somebody yesterday take, I think it was an annuity, had to take a penalty, 25 grand. So there's, what is that, 45,000 in silver and Litecoin. So that's over 20,000 in Litecoin, 22 5 say? Oh boy. Did I lose my battery again? Okay, hold on, guys. Here we go again. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the screen is really dark, so I'm not sure what you can see. Okay, I don't know how this is. Move around a little bit here. Get out of the sun. Okay, guys, this is the my digs. Oh, and the pool. See, I got a pool view. The pool house, Brewer Ranch, my new home away from home. Okay, guys, so we got to be positive. Time's short. Make it count. Every person matters. Every day, every hour matters. I mean, some days we're getting 10 people, converting their bank accounts. So let's keep this going all the way to the end. Make the final push. Be positive. Remember, really pay attention to those friends, relatives, neighbors who you suspect might be suffering from depression. That's the other thing. The domestic abuse calls have been going through the roof. So keep an eye on that stuff too, guys. If you have neighbors, friends who have those problems, maybe try and help them out. I know that can be a difficult situation, but got to try, right? If they don't want any help, then, there's nothing you can do. But we've got to be looking out for each other right now. Especially us, the ones that are awake, because most people aren't. And that puts a bigger responsibility on us. That's part of being a watchman, guys. It's part of being a Christian. This is a time when God wants us to stand up. So this is the time we do it. We're going to get through this together. It's how it's always gone. Every challenge that we've faced as Americans, we've gotten through it because we pull together. And the same thing's happening now. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. I'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.